1360thesource.com. Hello there. It's another Sunday evening, and Scott Fitzgerald in with you. In for the vacationing, I guess you want to call it vacationing, Wilbur Shears, who's in India currently. He's making some rounds through the countryside there and doing some learning. Going to be bringing back new things that he can incorporate into the day-to-day operations of the Cincinnati Yoga School, which is a great place to go if you're experienced in yoga or if you're just kind of thinking about it. Great place to go. You get your first class will be absolutely free. So visit them on the web at cincyyoga.com. In the meanwhile, this is Yoga the Other 98%. And as I mentioned, I'm Scott Fitzgerald, and we've been really fortunate to have access to Yogani, who's the author and proprietor, curator. What do you call yourself, Yogani, as far as the website goes?
Well, I guess you could call me an author.
An author. That's it.
Yeah.
That always works. It's all words there. It's all words and interaction. It's advancedyogappractices.com, and it's the leading website for folks who are really looking for ways to get down that path of ecstatic living. And you've been our guest for the past couple of weeks, and glad to have you again tonight. And
well, thank you. It's really been a pleasure, and I'm happy to be back.
Well, you dodged a bullet by by living where you do, which is not in Cincinnati, because we got I don't know how many inches of snow you think we get today. About 3. Yeah, it was lovely. I mean, it was beautiful, but slip sliding away.
Global warming hasn't arrived in Ohio yet, huh?
Well, it did up until today. We've had beautiful weather in the 60s, which is just ridiculous.
Well, we're having warm weather in Florida this winter, but that's probably, not any comparison to up north.
Yeah, it's not a big surprise, really, either. Well, it's good to have you back, and so far we've talked about deep meditation, we've talked pranayama, we've done tantra, and this week it's a threefold. What are the three prongs that we're going to be talking about tonight?
Well, we're going to be talking about asanas, which is yoga postures, mudras, and bandhas, which are internal physical maneuvers that are a bit more advanced on the physical side of yoga. And then we'll also be talking later on, if we have time, a little bit about Kundalini and how that relates to these practices. Okay,
and if you want to check in, our telephone number all across these wonderful fruited plains is 877-345-3779, 877-345-3779, or at 749-1360 locally. And if you'd like to play the home game with the website, it's advancedyogappractices with an S.com. And Yogani, before we get into the discussion tonight, is the book Samyama done?
It is, and it's out, and it just showed up on Amazon the other day, and it's a very interesting book. I don't think there have been too many books like it. It's the practice of Samyama is really sort of the icing on the cake of yoga. It involves combining inner silence, picking up a desire or a thought or a code word, if you will, and then releasing that into silence so that it manifests back out. So it's basically a technique that enables us to amplify our desires and be more successful in life, while at the same time bringing in a very positive influence from within. So I'm very excited about the book, and very excited about sharing the information that I've been studying for so many years and practicing for so many years. It's a practical book. It's a book you can pick up and actually do practices with on a daily basis.
And I think if one of the things that I've read in your writings is that Samya, is that how you pronounce it? Samya.
I think in India they say Samyama. But I follow the English letters. I'm not a Sanskrit scholar, so I go with Samyama.
Which is why I went with Samyama.
Yes.
We talked about deep meditation. This is sort of deep prayer.
Yeah, it's really taking the inner silence that's cultivated in deep meditation and using it in a practical way. If you're just practicing deep meditation, it's a great practice. It'll bring you more peace and energy and creativity in daily living. It'll make you more immune to the stresses and strains of life. But it's more of an experience of sort of having a silent center, which is a great thing to have. with Samyama, you begin to use that silent center to express outward into your life, and I call it stillness in action. You actually cultivate stillness in action. In fact, the whole title of the book is Samyama, Cultivating Stillness in Action, Cities and Miracles. And by cities, I don't mean big gatherings of people. It's spelled Siddhis, and in Sanskrit it means perfections or powers or supernormal powers. Not that we're aiming for that, but that's one of the side effects that eventually will come from it.
Well, all along in all these practices, it's not the experience that one should hold on to. It's a continued focus on the practices, which is what takes you where you want to go, which is just basically on the path.
That's correct. When you get involved with yoga and spreading out beyond the basic postures and basic practices into the deep meditation and spinal breathing and Samyama, there is a lot of scenery. There's a lot of things that can happen, a lot of energy moving in the system, and it's very easy to sort of get off on tangents following the sirens of experience, as I call them. And experiences don't produce spiritual progress. They're a symptom of it. It's the practices that produce the progress. So we always favor our practice in a very gentle and easy way.
Got it.
And enjoy the scenery.
Right. We're the pump, and yeah, it's pretty to watch the fountain, but the most important thing is we keep the pump moving.
Exactly. It's like driving a car. If you're trying to drive from the East Coast to the West Coast of the United States and you enjoy all the beautiful scenery, if you stop and look at the scenery, that's fine, but you won't be getting to California.
Well, you will eventually, perhaps.
Eventually, and everybody's on their own journey and on their own path, and there's no taboos in the way we teach these practices in AYP, if we want to progress, we just need to favor our practices, and if we want to enjoy the scenery, we can do that. We can do both. We can do our practices at practice time, and we can enjoy the scenery the rest of the time.
Sure. And then I think if we're on the path, we all eventually get to the point going, well, I've been here long enough. I've been in this place long enough. Yeah. So asanas, mudras, and bandhas. Where do you want to start?
Well, I think obviously now we're talking about something that everybody has heard about, at least as far as yoga postures are concerned. If you belong to a health club or the YMCA or go to look at your adult school schedule that you get every few months, there's going to be probably a yoga class on there. And the yoga class is, usually about postures. And postures have gained tremendous popularity in the United States and everywhere around the world because they're very relaxing and they bring some peace of mind, and they also bring good health and good psychological health and physical health. So it's a mainstream area, the yoga postures. However, what many people don't know when they go and take a yoga class is that postures represent traditionally one-eighth of the total of yoga if you measure it by the eight-limbed path. And so we just need to point that out, number one. And number two, if you're taking a yoga class and you're feeling some relaxation, the reason is because your nervous system is being cultivated in a way that opens a door within you to your inner self, which is inner silence, which is peace, which is all creativity and energy. So I guess the first thing I would say, in sort of jumping off from postures by themselves, is that the human body and the human nervous system is the doorway to the infinite. And anybody that practices some yoga postures will feel just a little bit of that from the beginning.
Just a knocking on the door, and that relaxation, as you write on each and every one of your postings, you write the guru is in you. To me, what that means is, okay, when you feel it, it's going to teach you where you want to go. It's like, hey, here I am.
Absolutely.